Morning, everyone. And we're going to continue with what we've been doing the last few weeks, which is really about glutes and hamstrings. Somebody's not going to be left out of the picture at all. But we're going to do a little bit more flowy. So what we've been doing the last few weeks is really feeling into where these muscles connect with other parts. Maybe even you might notice that, God, maybe one glute, one section of my glutes is more tight than the other section. So it's this awareness that we get in our body, and how does that transition when we actually flow? So when we move, that's Stevie's belt, he'll kill you. So when we move, sorry, can you see this? He's so bold. Stop that. Now, come in, position it, gone. So we're going to have that sensation of when you're, he's pulling the belt from behind.
Anna,
He's
just get it out from under your bum, he'll pull you over.
I sat on it, but he's there. He's got a bit of it. He's literally pulling at it. I don't know how to work this one.
Hilarious, God love him.
Oh, it's so fun. So we're going to start, meditation. So coming to the practice from a place of quiet and stillness, you get fed up eventually, helps us. That what we're trying to do is that get your little kind of reserve going when you're meditating, when you're moving, and then when you are out and somebody annoys you or your life isn't going as it's supposed to go, that we actually have this inner reserve. So that's really what our meditation practice hopefully does for us. And sometimes it's like, well, you know what, I just get to practice my pranayama anyhow. So let's get really comfortable, sit up nice and straight, connect with the sitting bones, and feel this sense of, it's really nice sitting out, right? Because I can really feel that sensation of rooting into the earth, of grounding the sitting bones. The legs are heavy and the spine is straight but relaxed. So I don't want to be sitting up tense because I want to let my breath flow. So taking a moment here to settle into your seat. Relax the shoulders, let the pelvis get heavy, let the legs get heavy, and then have this sense that the spine is almost just flowing and growing out of the pelvic area. You can bring, if you want, the thumb and first finger together into Chin Mudra. And let's start with our breath. So I'm going to take a long, slow, deep breath in through the nostrils. And breathe out with the relaxing, letting go sigh through the mouth. Let's do that a few times. Inhaling calm through the nostrils. Letting go of stress. Inhaling peace. Releasing tension. Inhale calm. Letting go of anxiety. And for the next few breaths, you're going to breathe in either a sense of calm or a sense of peace, and let go of whatever negative energies, emotions you have this morning, be it worry or anger, irritation, whatever it is. Breathing in calm. Breathe out, let that go. And then closing the mouth. And I start to connect to my yogic breath. So my yoga breathing is where I get to let the breath flow slowly and steadily in and out through the nostrils. Not really trying to change anything yet, just taking this awareness to our breath. Noticing the rhythm of breath. And for some people, if it makes you feel anxious to really focus on your breath, we focus on the movement of our body as we breathe. So noticing what parts of your body are moving, watching the breath as it enters cold in through the nostrils, travels through the throat, through the chest, maybe all the way down to the belly if you're nice and relaxed, watching the belly press out, and then a slight engagement of the tummy, belly towards spine, watching the breath travel back out again, all the way up. And you might even notice a sense of warmth at your nostrils when the breath has been filtered and warmed by the body. So take a moment to connect with your own rhythm of breath. Just let the body settle. Let the energy settle. Let your mind and breath start to slow down and relax. And you might notice sounds around us. So whatever the sounds are in your vicinity, I have a lovely bird chirping away. You might hear a few of them. Maybe it's the sound of lawnmowers going or people moving around your house. So take a moment to listen to what you can hear in your greater areas. So maybe even outside the room that you're in, not just close to you. Just let your attention be there for a moment. And then take that attention closer to home. So to the sounds of the room that you're in or the space that you're practicing in this morning, what can you hear there? Might be a clock ticking. Might even just be the sound of your own breathing. Might be your dog mooching around. Whatever it is, just taking your attention to the sounds in your space around you. And you might even notice the breath now, that the breath or the mind now, that it can start to, when we get quieter, the quieter we get, that the more active the brain gets. So notice that, notice the busyness of your mind. And can I not be attached to this busyness? Can I let go of it? Can I let go of this need to do things right? This judgment that we can have of ourselves, even when we're meditating. Letting go of our attachment to any end results. And just follow my breath. Breathing in. I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out. I know I'm breathing out. Breathing in, I notice my in-breath has become deeper. Breathing out, I notice that my out-breath has become slower. Breathing in, I calm myself. Breathing out, I feel at ease. Breathing in, I smile. Breathing out, I release. Breathing in, I dwell on the present moment. Breathing out, I feel it is a wonderful moment. It's a little poem from Thich Nhat Hanh, Buddhist monk. So let's start now. Can we keep that level of mindful awareness with us as we move through our practice? And even when, sometimes that's easier to do when you're not flowing. When you're staying static in a pose, it's sometimes easier to keep connected to your breath. So the challenge is when we move a little bit more, can I keep that level of connection? Can I stay super aware of my breath, aware of how my body is moving? And bearing in mind, Saturday morning, it is more gentle practice. It's stronger because we're doing flow. But that if you know you're in a body that you've got issues going on, be it hip, back, knees, that you need to be aware of sensations in your own body. And that's through the board. When we're practicing yoga, it really isn't about the shape of the pose that we're making, because we change our poses to suit how our own bodies are this morning, so that we never ever go into the realm of pain or discomfort. And if you're dealing with any issues at the moment, that you remember to rein it back. So it's like anything from 30 to 50% of what your body can normally do is where you're at when you're practicing yoga therapy. Okay, so we'll start sitting, seeing as we're sitting already. So if you come into, if it suits your body to come into easy legs crossed, that's fine. If you want to reach the feet in front of you, or even take them into a diamond shape, whatever feels okay for you. And let's do a little Sufi swirling just to kind of get into the pelvis. So placing the hands on the knees, little circle out one way. And notice, am I keeping that connection with my breath? Because when we're practicing yoga, it's not the movements. I feel great sometimes after a little back bends or whatever, but actually it's that connection to our breath that makes us feel nice and chilled and relaxed for a few days afterwards. Come back to center and let's go the other way. And Sufi swirling, where me and my body, it feels great. Remember, if it doesn't feel so lovely in your body, you're going to keep it much closer to the central line of the body. You're not going to make the big, huge swirly motions. So go to where your body is feeling. I love this because it's a real little, ooh, that's what's going on there, and that's what's going on there. Lovely. Now sitting up nice and straight. Again, have that sense of dropping the sitting bones into the earth. Spine is nice and light and lifted. And I'm going to inhale, let the arms float up. And as I exhale, I'm going to hinge forward from the top of the thighs, leading with my heart. And bring your hands onto the mat in front of you, the floor, whatever is there. Settle into it first and take a moment to check in. So we all have body parts that will speak to us a little bit more, and that's what you need to be listening to. So remember, I'm not hanging out my joints in yoga. I want to stretch my muscles, my tendons, my ligaments. But if I'm feeling pain in the joints, I'm too deep into a pose. So when you settle in then, and the breath is able to flow nice and easy, maybe can I engage my tummy muscles and relax a little bit more? Maybe not. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out. I know I'm breathing out. And gently walk the hands back up again. Sit up nice and straight. Bring the hands behind you onto the mat. Bring the shoulders right back. So really feel like you're squeezing the shoulder blades together. Open up the heart center, lifting it towards the sky. And maybe in some bodies, you can let the head relax back. Maybe not. I need to get a tissue. Forgot that. And when you're ready, come back up to center. Sit for a moment. So let's take a little side bend now. So once again, grounding the seat into the earth. We're going to bring the right hand alongside the body, reaching up with the left arm, but soften that left shoulder. Hug in your core muscles and then take it over to the right. Now really press that left sitting bone into the earth and get that sense of real openness in the left side of the body. Now, if you have issues going on with your shoulders, your arms or your wrists, a little micro bend in that arm might be needed. If you want to make it more dynamic, you really straighten that arm and stretch into the fingers. But make sure the arm is over the head. Lovely. Keep breathing into that left lung. Keep pressing that left sitting bone into the earth. And then relax the hand in front and slowly come up. And again, keep checking posture, head, neck, spine, and shoulders nice and relaxed away from the ears. Left hand goes alongside the body now. Let the right arm float up, soften that right shoulder, hug in the core muscles, take it over to the left. This time pressing the right sitting bone into the earth. And really filling into the right side of the lungs. Keep the breath flowing in and out. Keep the hand over the head rather than in front. And if you can't do that, just soften, relax, even bring the hand behind the head. And relax back to center. And let's take a little spinal twist. So remember, for most of us, this is our first spinal twist of the day. So you take it nice and gentle. Going to move your hips, just swing them to the right as far as they're happy to go right now. Bring the right hand behind you and the left hand onto either the knee or the thigh, wherever feels okay. Now drop the shoulders away from the ears. Relax your breath. And just settle into it. And then see, are you able to take it a little bit deeper? If so, inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bringing the ribs towards the right a little bit more, maybe looking over your right shoulder. And then coming out of that, I'm going to lengthen up again, very, very slowly. Let the spine come back to center. And just take a moment to notice, you can already normally feel the difference between two sides. Swing the hips towards the left now. Bring the left hand behind you. Right hand onto the left thigh. Drop the shoulders, ears. Connect with your breath. And then if you want to go further, inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, turn the ribs a little bit more towards the left and look over your left shoulder. All the way back to center as I lengthen up. And exhale, coming right back. Lovely. Okay, so for those who can, we come on to hands and knees. If not, remember, we're going to practice a little bit of cat pose. You can do it seated. And when we do cat balance, what you're going to do is totally engage the core. And so for example, if I'm sitting on a chair, I'm going to do my cat seated and then engage the core and reach one leg out in front. So that's getting the core action in the body. Lovely. For everyone else, come on to hands and knees and settle in. So if you need a support for underneath your knees, a folded up blanket or even an extra mat rolled up a couple of times can help. Press into the hands now. So hands are shoulder width apart. And remember, this is weight bearing. So these are exercises for the literally the bones of our body. The more active, the more you spread into the hands, the better weight bearing we get onto the bones of our hands. So pressing in, almost feel like the knuckles are grounded into the earth, but then feel the heels of the hands so that there's a super stretch on the hands. And if you're doing it, sometimes just do it if you're, maybe start like that if you're doing seated cat, just for a moment to get that stretch. You can even press the hands towards each other to get a bit of weight bearing. Lovely. Knees are underneath the hips. Now, let's start taking a breath in through the nostrils in tabletop, looking down at the space in between hands. And as I breathe out, I'm tucking that pelvis under. I'm going to pull in the belly, round the spine like a cat ready to pounce, and look right down at my belly. And as I inhale, I start to lift the sitting bones. Engage the core, lift the chest, and look straight ahead. I can't look up anymore. My neck doesn't love that now. So go to where feels okay for you. Let's move with the breath now. Rounding into scaredy cat, using your core muscles, pressing into the hands and knees. Inhaling into happy cat, lifting the sitting bones, little arch into the back. Lovely. Just move now with your own rhythm of breath, rounding, lifting. And then come back to neutral, which is tabletop. Weight is equal on my hands and my knees. Take that right leg behind you. Press the ball of the right foot into the mat. On the chair, you're reaching that right leg out in front of you. Hug in those core muscles. Inhale, lift that right leg up. Let's just up and down a few times. So anyone on the chair, you can do that too. Inhaling up. Now use the glutes, use the core muscles, feel the hamstrings. So all that engagement that we've been doing the last few weeks, can I really tap into that? Hold the muscles. Now, feel that the hip bones are facing the earth. And can I bring my left arm in line with my left ear? And if I can, so you're going to bring that up in the air. Thank you, Fergie. Fergie's lifting my feet. Lengthen into the left foot and into the right heel as I pull in those tummy muscles. Use the glutes and get that gorgeous stretch in the spine. And breathe. Now remember, at any stage, if it's too much, you either bring that left hand down or you bring the right foot down. Back onto the hands and knees. We're actually going to come up onto knees and do a little reach out of the hands, thumbs in, hands over the thumbs, and a little circle out of the wrist joints. Lovely. One way. And then can I go the other way? And then shake any of that tension out, up and down. And then I'm only moving around so you can see me. You don't have to. Come on to the left side. So back onto hands and knees again. And again, settle into it. So really connect with that sense of weight bearing, pressing the hands into the mat, especially anyone who is on a computer all week long. You would want to be doing, even placing your hands against a wall, a bit of weight bearing, really important to stretch out the fingers and the bones of the hands. Now, bring that left foot behind you. Press the ball of the left foot onto the mat. And then inhale as I lift that left leg. So I'm not coming up really high. I'm not coming out of balance. I'm staying in kind of pelvic alignment here. Keep the core engaged. Breathe out, bring the foot back down. Do that a few times. So again, can I still sense that connection between the glutes and the lower back, between the glutes and the hamstrings? Just noticing that connection. Now, when I lift my leg up now, maybe now I can take my right arm in line with my right ear. Engage those core muscles. Look down at the mat and breathe. So feel that lengthening into that right hand, reaching into that left heel. And notice as your breath easy. Is it feeling like a lot? And come back. So we're going to come into hare pose and then come into downward dog. So remember, anyone seated, you can do downward dog either behind your chair or against the wall. So hare pose, you can just do a little forward bend if you want on the chair. Now, bum on the heels, nice and wide. So let's get into the inner thighs, open up those hips a little bit. Slide the hands down. We're going to try and keep those arms straight. Pull in the belly and resting the chest towards the mat. So again, if the bum is way up in the air, maybe pop a cushion between the bum and heels. And feel that lovely super duper stretch. Now turn your palms to face towards the ceiling, bend the elbows a little bit and relax into hare pose. So remember, hare is also a restorative pose. It's when we're doing hands and knees that we can come to this space to rest if we need to. It's also an amazing little prep for my downward facing dog. So from my hare pose now, I'm going to stay there, bring my hands to the very edge of the mat. Press back, so almost like I'm trying to sit my bum back on my heels. Come up onto the knees, take the weight into the hands, energize those arms. Now bring the knees in that they're hip distance apart now. Tuck the toes under. We're going to do a dog squat first, okay? So pressing into the hands, bending the knees, and then just think of lengthening. So you're doing downward dog against the wall now, just with the knees bent for starters. Press in. So that action into the hands is as active or as gentle. Open up that space in between the shoulder blades, sorry, against the wall. Now, lengthen the spine. So you might be up on the balls of the feet, that's fine. You should still feel that connection between the spine, between the glutes, all the way down to the hamstrings. Breathing in and out. Lovely. Take a little rest into hare pose. I'm just going to demo this standing. Lovely. Take a moment or two before we come into it again. Okay. And then you're going to do it again. So come into whatever downward dog feels okay. Remember, if we're standing, we're going to keep those knees bent, hinge forward, and lengthening the spine towards the ceiling for us is us lengthening that tailbone out. With your hands on whatever it's on, whether it's the wall, you can use as much energy or as little as you want. Open up that space in between the shoulder blades. Soften out the neck now. Downward dog is great because for a change, the head doesn't have to rest on top of the body. You can just relax. Try and keep your ears in between the upper arms. So, and then press into the feet. Take a moment in hare pose. And then when you're ready, we're going to transition to standing. Lovely. Good. So I have my chair handy, or you can have, I have a table in front of me here as well, or you can have blocks handy for this as well. So kind of know we're going to do little spinal sequence standing first. So you're kind of feeling into it before we flow a little bit, okay? So feet are hip distance apart. Press into the feet, relax the shoulders, dropping them away. Let's take a little raised arm mountain first. So inhale, let the arms float up. Grounding into the feet, letting the upper body lift, raise up. Exhale, relaxing. Let's do that one more time. Press the feet into the earth, engage the muscles in the legs, let the arms float up overhead. And exhale, soften and relax. Now for the next few times, can I actually come up onto the balls of my feet? You might not be able to, just stay flat on the feet if you can't. Inhale, rising up onto the balls of the feet. Focus on a little drishti, and exhaling, relaxing back down again. Lovely. Do that a few times. Inhaling up and exhaling, relaxing. Connecting on that space ahead in the distance that doesn't move. Lovely. Okay, so let's take a standing forward bend, remembering that it's totally different because we really need to work our legs when we're doing any standing movements, okay? But remember, we're going to try and come down as far as we can with a straight back, okay? And knees softer is kind of kinder on the body, but you've got to kind of gauge how deep or how low down you're happy to go. So that's why I'm going to do from this side just to demo with the chair. You could use the wall, you can use a small table or whatever. So I'm taking a little micro bend to my knees, pressing the feet into the earth, inhaling, letting the arms float up, and exhale. Start to hinge again from that crease at the top of the thighs, and then go down to where it feels okay for you. Hang out there a moment, pull in the belly. Maybe I can relax down a little bit more. Take a moment. Now, in some bodies, you might be able to straighten the legs, and if you're going to do that, you think of lifting one sitting bone towards the ceiling or towards the sky, then another, pull in the belly, and then you start to really feel your hamstrings. Lovely. And if it's too much on the hamstrings, then I take a little bend into the knees again. Now press into the feet, use the power of the legs, all the way up again. Breathe out, relax. Lovely. So that's your forward bend. So we just want to gauge when we're flowing how this feels in our body. Now we're going to take it backwards. So I feel much more safe and comfortable in my body with the feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart when I do this. So press into the feet, and especially to the edges of the feet. Ground down the heels. Have a look. We want our insteps still, unless you've got flat feet, a slight lift still in the insteps, but I'm pressing into the balls of the feet, the big toe, the little toe. So my feet are fully engaged here. Lovely. Open up the arms out to the side. Now drop the shoulders away from the ears. Press into the feet. Energize those legs. Engage the core muscles. Engage the glutes as you start to lift your heart center towards the sky, breathing in and out. And I'm really aware of how far my back wants to go this morning. So I'm not going any deeper. I'm totally listening to my own body. This feels lovely because I'm right underneath my trees here. So it's like, oh, all the way up and relax. Lovely. Let's take a little standing side bend. So you can bring the feet in hip distance apart again. We're going to link our hands, ground into the feet, and So what we want to do with this is try and keep the arms straight. If you can get to here and then it's like my arms need to bend, then don't go any higher than here. If you're able to bring it overhead, do. But once you get there, drop the shoulders away from the ears. Pull in the tummy muscles. Press into the feet. Inhale as I raise up into my hands. I take my body over towards the right. Breathe in and out. Keep the core engaged. Keep the glutes strong. Keep the legs strong. Keep grounding into the earth. Can you notice the breath filling into the left side body now? A little bit more. And then inhale back to center. And exhale, relax for a moment. Maybe give the arms a little swing out. And then let that go. Come back to center. Again, realign yourself again. Press into the feet. Link the hands, send them away, and then start to bring them up. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Loosen out the neck if you have any tension, tightness there. Pull in the belly. Use those glutes and take it over to the left. And now maybe notice the breath filling into the right side lung. And you might notice that it's much easier to do one side than the other side. And that's just normal in us. And all the way back to center and relax. And for a standing twist, it'll be one of my favorite poses ever. Bend the knees, make gentle little fists of the hands, and then swing it out. Anyone doing Qigong, this is kind of one of their moves. It's lovely. So when you tap that lower back, you're actually getting into your kidney meridian. Oh, cool. So notice your breath. And hopefully the breath is flowing slowly, nice and easy. We're not forcing, we're not pushing. Just letting that breath flow. Lovely. And then come back to center. Okay, so we're going to start off with sun kiss. So I'm going to do the first one to the side. So anyone using a chair or a wall to come down to our table will notice. You might want to use blocks. So you might want to be able to come down nearly to the floor, but not quite. So either blocks flat. Remember, our blocks can go that way, or up that way. So whatever feels okay for you, okay? Right. So with our sun kiss, I'm doing it first as if I was doing it facing my chair. Well, I am doing it facing the chair, but for those of you who are, press into the feet. Again, what do you need with your legs? Do you need a little softness in the knees? If so, micro bend. Take the hands over the heart. Long breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale, opening the arms all the way up. Take a little back bend. Exhaling, swan diving forward. Hands onto your support. Full forward bend. Let the body hang down as much as it's able to. Now press into the feet, pull in the tummy, come into your little L shape, half forward bend, and then slide all the way back down again, full forward bend. Press into the feet, so this rebound effect as I press into the feet, power up the legs, and then bring yourself all the way up, maybe straight up or maybe to your back bend, whatever feels okay, and take the hands into prayer pose. So stand for a moment, and what you want to be doing all the time in yoga is checking in. Does this feel okay? Is this too much? So what do I need to support me? Remember, always, little bend in the body can go a long way. We're going to do that, and then we're going to add some other movements into it, okay? So let's go again. Hands over the heart center. Long breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale to back bend. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, half forward bend. Core has to be really strongly engaged here to support the lower back. Exhale, slide all the way back. Press the feet into the mat, power of the legs, bringing me all the way back up into my back bend and relax. So just letting the body settle into it. Lovely. So now this time we come down, we're going to step back into a bit of a lunge. So remembering that everyone's bodies, we're all going to lunge differently, okay? So this is a lunge. This is a lunge, right? This is a lunge. This is a lunge. So I have to go to wherever my body is happy to go to this morning. Hands over the heart center. Remember, you can still use your wall. You can still use your chair if you need to. Long breath in, slow breath out. Inhale to back bend. Swan dive, forward bend, hinging from the top of the thighs. Half forward bend, use those tummy muscles. Full forward bend, sliding down the legs. Lovely. Now this time, I'm going to take my left leg back, but I'm going to let it be the width of the mat, okay? So keeping the knees bent first, okay? Either putting my hands on a chair or reaching in, pressing into the feet. Maybe I can bring my legs the whole way up. Now, if your balance is out of whack, that is grand. You could use the wall here, or just even put one hand on the wall and the other arm up, okay? If you're able to, both arms go up, drop the shoulders away. Now, press the feet into the earth. Your hip bones are facing forward, okay? And from here, we're going to straighten that right leg by pressing the foot into the mat and then bend it. And do that a few times. Now, start to notice what's happening in the body when we do hit the tendency. Our bodies want to go like that. We want to go into warrior two, most of us. But what's happening in that left heel? Can I keep that grounded? Can I notice my hamstrings, my glutes, my lower back? So all of these things that we need to keep working. Lovely. And then hang out here in our warrior one for a moment, hips facing forward, slight engagement of the lower belly. Now this time I'm going to straighten that right leg and we're going to come into intense leg stretch. So remember, if your hamstrings are very tight, you need a micro bend in that knee. Press into the feet, lift towards the ceiling. And exhale, hinging forward, this time over that right leg, reaching forward, coming with the straight back, then pull in the belly and hang down. So this is where your blocks are handy. You can either put your hands onto your blocks, either side of that right foot, or you can put your hands onto a chair, onto the wall. Now, can I work here on bringing that right hip back, left hip forward, pull in the belly. And now you know why this is called intense leg stretch, but also nose to knee. Let the head hang and breathe. Lovely. Now bend that right knee, press up into your warrior one. So we're going to just do a little flow between the two of them, okay? So you need to remember, okay, do I need to bend my legs? Am I better off at the chair? What do I need to support myself in my practice, okay? So we're going to inhale here and then take it into intense leg stretch. Pull in the belly, right hip back, left hip goes forward. Hang out here for a breath or two. Now I'm going to still soften that right knee as I come up and then take the knee into a bend, into my warrior one. A lot going on in that back leg as well. So really energize that left glute. Hinging forward, start to straighten that right leg, taking the body down, intense leg stretch. Notice your breath. And then press into the feet, carve the legs, bringing me all the way back up into my high lunge. Lovely, drop the shoulders away from the ears. And then one last time, straightening the leg, reaching forward, hinging from the top of that right thigh, pull in the belly, head relaxes towards the knee. And then bend that right knee, press into the feet, come into your lunge. Let's step it out. Lovely. So give your legs a little shake out. And then come back to Tadasana for a moment. And then notice how both legs are feeling. So there's a lot going on in both legs, especially in intense leg stretch. You really feel it more in the right leg, but I can always feel that quite strongly into my left leg. So it's that sense of noticing what's going on and also paying attention to glutes, hamstrings, what we have been doing a lot of work on in the last few weeks. So how does that feel when I start to flow a little bit in yoga poses? So let's change, come back to our front of the mat. Come to Tadasana. Forgot about being underneath a load of trees. Yes. Lovely. Relax the shoulders, hands into prayer. Press the hands in towards each other. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe in and out through the nostrils. Lovely. Now inhale, gently arch back. Exhale, hinging forward from both thighs. Swan dive forward. Pull in the belly. Remember, checking in here. Do I need to bend my knees or not? Half forward bend. Core engages. Looking into my imaginary pond. Put your hands in the glutes there. Feel how fired up they are in this position. Slide the hands back down. Bring them onto your block, onto your chair. Pull forward, bend. And this time I'm bringing my right leg back. Again, play with that distance between the feet. Pressing into both feet, bending the left knee. Relax the shoulders, let the arm float up. So even here in our warrior one in high lunge, we need to check out. So sometimes you'll feel it fairly straight away if you've gone too deep in, because you might feel a pull in the lower back. But can I really reach that right heel now? Ground that right heel into the earth. Left knee is bent. Have enough space in between the legs that it feels comfortable and that I feel solid here. Keep the shoulders relaxed, even though the arms are upright. Lovely. Now, straightening that left leg, and do it by pressing that left foot into the mat. And then start to reach forward with the arms, hinging forward. Lovely. Now, bring your hands onto wherever, onto the block, onto the chair. Pull in the belly, hang down here. And when I'm here, can I move that left hip back and that right hip forward? Lovely. Feel that pose that we call intense leg stretch. And decide, do you need a little micro bend in it or not? Now I'm going to bend that left leg, press into the feet, reach out in front with those arms, slowly coming back up. So this is, and we're not doing it today, but like this is a good thing to play with yourself, that coming really slowly is actually normally quite challenged, because I can go from there up again without really paying too much attention to what's happening in the rest of my body. So that's what we want when we're coming into the movements. Even flowing slowly is this awareness of, ooh, where am I feeling that? Where do I need to mind? What do I need to actually really engage a bit more? So we get a little bit more body awareness as we move. Lovely. So we're going to flow now this time. So drop the shoulders away from the ears. Bend that left knee, press into that right heel. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge forward, straighten that left leg. Bring that left hip back, right hip forward, pull in the belly, bow down. Intense leg stretch. Lovely. Now bend the knee. Press into the feet, power of the legs. Strengthen those legs to bring me all the way up. Soften those shoulders again. Pull in the belly. So it's almost like an engagement of the lower belly. Use that right glute. Come again. Hinge forward, hinge forward, hinge forward. Lovely. Straightening that left leg. Left hip goes back, right hip forward. Pull in the belly, relax a little bit more. And then bend that left knee. Press into the feet. All the way up. And relax. Lovely. Give the legs a little kick out. Now, give a little circle out in the hips because you're probably feeling it a little bit into the glutes, into the hips, because there is a lot of work there. But that's a lot of flexion and extension in the hip joint. So what we want to do now is still keep that connection to our glutes and hamstrings, but get into our hips in a different way by internally and externally rotating the hips, which is a warrior 2 sequence. So set yourself up for that. Again, if you know that, you know what, we can't do this, show you this sequence on a chair as well. You just, that back knee is not going to be straight. If you're doing it on a chair, you're going to do exactly the same. Get those legs till they're comfortable though, because sometimes that back knee can feel a bit wonky, or you can use a block and do exactly the same movements, okay? Sometimes just using the support of the wall behind you can feel quite stabilizing as well. So remember, everyone's going to be at a different sort of space of our bodies in this pose, and that's all it is. It's like whether I'm in the pose and feet at the length of the mat, or that's just space, isn't it? That's all it is. Turn the right foot out, turn the left foot in, so slightly lift that back heel. Lovely. Now, turn your body to face forward, put your hands on the front of the hips. And if you're not comfortable standing, you're too deep in it, okay? So you need to just step that foot in slightly. Bend that right knee and then straighten. And do that a few times. Now we want that right knee to be more or less over the right ankle. And when I look down, I want to see my big toe. Then I know that that leg is nicely aligned. And when you do this, you might realize, actually, I can go a little bit deeper. Or if your knee or your hip joint is talking to you, you need to rein it in. Now hold it there, put the hands in the rib cage faces forward. So feel into the hips. This hip is turning out internally, externally rotating. This hip is turning in. And then pressing into the feet, feeling that energy from the feet the whole way up, reaching into the arms, but soften the shoulders, warrior 2. Now noticing, as I really engage my feet, press the feet into the earth, can you feel that contraction of my left glute? Dancing warrior, bring the back hands on the back leg, looking into the palm of the right hand. And again, send energy into that left heel, feel that left glute. All the way back up, warrior 2. Intense side stretch, rest that elbow. And again, you know how your side bend is feeling this morning. Shoulders are tired of that. Keep our hands on our hips. Now, as I relax that arm in front of the body, I straighten that right leg and come into a lovely open triangle pose. Breathing in and out. And then press into the feet, all the way back up and relax. Lovely. Come back to Tadasana for a moment. Just relaxing in mountain pose. Feet are hip distance apart. Feel the big toe, the little toe, the inner and outer heel. Press into the earth. Legs are strong. Hips over knees, over ankles. Head, neck and spine in a nice straight line. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Come back to your breath. Come back to a sense of ease in the body. And let's take it to the left side. So you're going to this time turn your left foot out. Lift up that right heel, pivot it out slightly so that right foot is at 45 degrees. Front heel will bisect the middle of the back foot. Put your hands on the hip bones there, bend and straighten. So again, just feeling into it. And in that sinking into it, connecting with the body, noticing what's happening. Does it feel okay? Does it feel safe? Because we can feel totally different on two sides, as we know. And then hold it. Round both feet into the earth. Feel as I press the feet into the mat, that sense of strength and energy in my legs. Rib cage faces forward. Reach into the fingertips, look over that left finger, index finger. Soften the shoulders. Connect with your breath. Dancing warrior now, backhand on the back leg, looking into the palm of your left hand now. And again, if you've got tight shoulders, your hand might be here, it might be there. It doesn't have to go all the way up. Keep rooting in to that right heel. Now feel that energy from the right heel to the right glute. Pull in the tummy slightly. It's a bit of a back bend as well as a big side bend. Back to warrior two. Now leaning over, lean that left elbow onto the left thigh, pull in your tummy, open up that chest a little bit. Let the arm float up either to 6 o'clock or over your ears. Again, try not to let that kind of zombie head happen. Keep your ear in line with your upper arm. Breathe in and out. And feel a line of energy from that right heel to your fingertips. Really big side bend here. Brilliant for our long side bending. Now straighten that left leg as you circle that arm the whole way around, pull in the belly and come into triangle. And with triangle pose, your neck is wherever it's happy to be, either looking straight ahead or looking down or looking up at that thumb. And then press into the feet, power of the legs to bring us up. Walk the feet in again and come back to Tadasana. Come back to your breath. And come back to any sensations in the body. So let's do little neck and shoulders. This one is really nice. So you can bring your feet can go wherever they really want to go. Hip distance, a little bit wider. And I'm going to bring my left arm all the way around the head, almost like I'm minding my head. Start off with the right hand on the right shoulders and let the head just fall into the arms to the left. Take a moment here. So the reason I put my hand here is because that right shoulder wants to come along. I just want to create a lovely stretch the side of my neck. So to do that now, I'm going to reach in to my right hand. It's like I'm reaching away, pressing into that right hand, and that just helps generate a little bit more of a stretch. Now remember, the weight of the head will create this stretch. You're not pulling the head with your arms, just letting gravity really take control here. And then relax both arms and come back to center. Lovely. Now let's just do a little shoulder. So bring the shoulders all the way forward. Lift them up as high as you can. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and slide them down the body. Lovely. Now let's flow this. Inhale forward and up. Exhale back and lovely. Do it again. Inhale forward and up. Exhale back and one more time. Forward and up and back and down. Lovely. Now this time I'm going to take my right arm, bring it all the way around my head. Start off with your left hand on the left shoulder. Let the head just fall into the arms, really like the arms are minding the head. And you're literally just going to where the head is happy to go. Now reach into that left hand as if you're pressing away. And then feel that it does intensify the movement a little bit more. But you get that gorgeous opening now on the left side of the neck, even into the shoulders, even into the upper chest. Now relax, hand all the way back up. Lovely. We're going to link our hands again. Bring our hands behind our head. Keep the elbows all the way out to the side. Press into the feet. Keep the body nice and strong. And just, again, letting, almost like you're lying back on lying on a beach. Just feeling that sense of the sun in your face. Breathing. It's not a big movement for most of us. Just a little opening at the front of the throat. Maybe a little lift of the chin towards the sky. Coming back up to center. Now start to drop the chin towards the chest. And as you do that, can you hook those elbows in towards the body? A nice opening, a nice stretch at the back of the neck. And then come back up to center. Lovely. Relax the head. Let's just do a few little shoulder shrugs. Inhale, shoulders up to the ears. Exhale. Once again, inhale up. And last time. And let's come back down to our mats. So you can come back down to lying on the mat. Lovely. My yoga mat is full of paw prints now. Okay. So hug the knees. As you lie down flat, take a moment. Just even a little rock from side to side to kind of feel that your body is relaxing, and let the back relax. Open up the arms wide. Take a big hug to yourself, a little self-care pose. But as you do that, it's kind of double whammy here. You're going to see, can you draw those shoulder blades apart? So get space between the shoulder blades. Do a little rock from side to side. And then let the body relax. Lovely. Now, can you bring both knees in over the tummy? Hug the knees in over the belly first. And feel that same spreading out in the lower back there. Little rock from side to side. Just loosening out. And then take a moment. So make sure the chin isn't kind of overextended. A little nod of the chin towards the chest, so that I've got that nice curve at the back of my neck. Now, when I breathe in, I'm going to send those knees away, and breathe out, hug the knees in over the tummy. We're going to do that a few times with our breath. So you might find, but you have to really engage your core when you're doing this, that you're able to tip your toes all the way to the feet, to the mat. And then when you breathe out, hug the knees in, nice and tight as feels comfortable. So inhaling, maybe
you're able to get for that little core engagement. If it's too much on your body, just do it regularly with the hands on the knees and don't go any further. Any further, we have to engage the core. It's a nice strengthening pose for the lower back, but it isn't for everybody. Let's just do that one more time. And then hugging the knees in over the tummy now. I'm going to bring the knees out to the side, send them away, back together again. So this, I get to loosen out my lower back. At the same time, I'm really loosening out any tension and tightness in the hip joints. Now, can I go the other way as well? And can I notice, does it feel more different going this way? Is it easier? Is it more challenging? The right and the left side of the body. And we're just going to let just our legs, let your knees fall towards the floor to the right. And then come back to center. Move with your breath. Let the knees fall to the left. And back to center. Nice and slowly loosening out any tension. The lower back, the hips. Remember, your knees may not reach the floor. That is perfectly fine. Just go to where your body's happy to this morning. And then next time, when we come back up, we're coming into Shavasana. So you might decide that you want to straighten out your legs, or you might want to keep your knees bent up. Sometimes if you're keeping your knees bent up, a nice something underneath your knees that you can really relax into can feel gorgeous. So take a moment to settle into Shavasana. Come back to your breath. Close over your eyes. Feel your body get heavy on the mat. Noticing again, are both sides of my body equal on the mat? Feel the shoulder girdle. Is my right shoulder blade and left shoulder blade equally heavy on the mat? How about my pelvis? Does my pelvis feel balanced? Or does one side feel heavier than the other? And if so, can I adjust that? Come back to the body. Notice any sensations at all in the body. Anywhere that I need to mind, send a little bit of breath, a little bit of minding, a little bit of healing into. Letting the breath flow. Feeling a sense of ease and relaxation in the body. Traveling from the crown of the head, through the back of the head, over the sides, through the back and sides of the neck. Relaxing the back of the shoulders, shoulder blades, space between the shoulder blades. Relaxing the middle, the lower back, the glutes, the hamstrings, the back of the knees.
Relaxing the calves, heels, feeling my back body as it gets heavy on the mat. Feel the sense of surrender to gravity as I ground down into the mat. Relaxing the back body. Back of my body feels completely relaxed. And then inviting a sense of openness and relaxation into the front of my body. Starting from the toes, traveling up the front of the feet, front of the ankles, the shins, the knees, the quads, the front of my hips, my lower belly, my solar plexus, my heart center, my chest, my lungs, my upper chest, the front of my throat. Feel both arms relax from shoulders through upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, and fingers. And then allow this sense of softness to travel to my face, softening the forehead, relaxing the temples and the jaw, softening the cheeks, cheekbones, letting the eyes be heavy in the sockets, relaxing the mouth, the teeth, the gums, feeling the front of the body soft and relaxed and ready to receive this gift of relaxation. As I lie here just for a few minutes more, breathing in, breathing out, I am relaxed. I am at ease. I am at peace. Once again, I feel my body that's been resting. Bring a little bit of gentle movement into the body. I gently wriggle my fingers, move my toes, slowly move your head from side to side. Then take a big stretch, take a yawn, move whatever way your body feels like it wants to. And then nice and slowly take your time coming up to sitting. So anyone on the recording, I will wish you now Om Shanti, peace.